for all the talk about the truth of sports, the last frontier is sports, is sexuality. Ours is still the one industry that does not touch that at all. We do not touch sexuality at all. And this is sort of a glimpse, this is just kind of pulled back the curtain on that a little bit about the deviation is probably just as rampant in our industry as it is in the general, well, I should say deviations. Homosexuality isn't, I don't feel it's deviation, but it is in our industry and we have not touched it at all.
Is that one of the things we're going to see change in the future in sports,
I think
with homosexuality?
I think it's you talked about this, I don't see this with women. Like you see guys worship too much. We worship, maybe it's because men seek power, but we worship from military generals to CEOs to Wall Street. If you look really what happened with Penn State, it's what happened to some degree on Wall Street. Nobody asked questions because we idolized a fellow man. My wife loves Susie Orman. She doesn't wear a Susie Orman jersey around the house. You know what I mean? Like if you look at most of these situations, it is men worshiping other men. Maybe it's, again, we seek power, we want to be the star quarterback. But basic questions on Wall Street, basic questions in government, generally men in power, other men don't ask basic questions. I think it's why you need diversity and gender. You need women, old, young, in any company, because if you get just men seeking power, how can you know about Jerry Sandusky in an athletic program and not be, as a father, repulsed by it because of the worship of Joe Paterno? And I think it's maybe it's a guy thing. I don't see women wearing as many jerseys around that guys do, but all these government, Wall Street, sports, Sandusky, men worshiping men, not asking legitimate questions, coach with a boy in a shower.
There have been stories, I mean, with all due respect, there have been stories, not this ramp, the LSU coach, I mean, there have been stories in women's basketball and women's sports, particularly in college, of some forms of predatory relationships. I forget the coach of LSU, who was actually,
well, then this is the question. You say it's the last frontier that's not been explored is sexuality in sports. That's not true in women's sports. It's the first question people ask. Right. Oh, you played in the WNBA. How many lesbians were on your team? Why is that the first question men ask? But it's something that you're not going to talk about in men's sports. It's very different, and that's all. That's all.
It's a reverse. You're right. One is an assumption.
Yeah.
There are two assumptions.
There's two assumptions. If you're a man who plays sports, you're straight. If you're a woman who plays sports, you're a lesbian.
That's right.
Teddy, what do you think about that? I mean,
That's a crossfire way there. No, I think.
I got him.
Think about that.